Hello my friends, my name is Ryan Freeman. Thank you for coming to my channel. Please give me a big thumbs up, subscribe, and write your comments down below. I am an American English teacher working in Chiayi City, Taiwan, where just a few days ago we had a very large earthquake located in the Chiayi greater region. I'm in the city, so not very far from me was a 6.4 magnitude earthquake according to the Taiwanese news, and it was the scariest confrontation with Mother Nature's catastrophic powers that I remember in my life. It really put the fear of God in me, and I was praying. And I'm not the type of person who normally does get afraid when it comes to earthquakes. I'm from California. I've had many earthquakes in my life before. I lived in Japan, which is the most volatile when it comes to earthquakes out of countries. But the last year and a half in Taiwan, I have had so many earthquakes here. And this one was the biggest one that I've experienced. And it's not the biggest in Taiwanese history. I don't think anyone died. Maybe a few people died. Some people got injured. Overall, Taiwan has a pretty good infrastructure. From what I've read, their buildings are pretty resilient when it comes to earthquakes. But this one really frightened me because it just was so massive, and the aftershocks. Even today, there was a fairly large aftershock. I assume it's connected to the one that happened just a few days ago. But the aftershocks continued all night, so I had no sleep. But the big one that hit, I mean, imagine being woken up just a little after midnight and glass bottles of onion flavored oil are just shattering on my floor. Onion oil is going all over my studio apartment. Honey jar smashing, honey getting everywhere. And my neighbors groaning. Oh, I mean, it was a frightening experience. And so recently I've been reading a lot about earthquakes. It sparked my interest to understand what the hell's going on down there. The earth is alive. Sometimes I take the earth for granted. Nothing like a big jolt to wake you up to the facts of life. Hopefully, I'm better prepared, and I have already put my cooking supplies in safer areas. All right, so that's about the earthquake. I really wanted to talk about the end of the semester because half of the school year is now gone. Most public schools are on Chinese New Year holiday. Now, some foreign English teachers will still be showing up to work to do something that is colloquially called desk warming. Desk warming is where you come to the office because your contract says you have to, even though you have nothing to do, and you sit there feeling bored or useless for 8 hours or 9 hours a day. Now, I hate desk warming, and I've had huge fights. I had a huge fight with my first school about it. And my second school, I didn't do it. My second school, here's the thing. When you talk about old lovers, you have strong emotions. You can tend to just say the bad things, when times were rough and why you guys broke up. But you should always remember the good things. My second school was a beautiful school, beautiful experience. But I also had some hard experiences there. Not necessarily related to this topic that I'm talking about. It just came up. But funnily enough, I was the first English teacher they ever had. Now they have their second foreign English teacher, and I was always curious how things were going for her. And she called me. She called me out of the blue, and she gave me an update. Now, I don't want to talk about it, but let's just say the problems I experienced last year seem to be structural, not related to me. Okay, back to desk warming. At my current school, I do not need to desk warm. I don't know, should I? The light is that way, the sun is that way. Should I walk backwards? Or do you want to see me sort of shade it out? I've never done that. That might be a little weird. Okay, we're just gonna go with this. So I don't have to desk warm. My school is really cool. I was ready to quit. Now, even though my school is amazing and I've talked about how much freedom I have and what a cool job it is to teach PE, and I've been teaching jujitsu. I've been able to teach jujitsu to about half or the majority of my PE classes, which has been awesome. But it's just, for me, waking up, and I'm not trying to sound like a bitch, okay? Excuse my language, but having to wake up, show up to an office, and in my last video, I talked about how this guy moved in next to me and I was so uncomfortable. I just was starting to feel like, man, is this even worth it? What am I doing here? And then, the very last day of work, I end up being the only teacher out of all the foreign English teachers, we have 3, out of all the local teachers, being invited by the PTA and the principal to have lunch with them. It was a special invite. And just the fact that they really valued me, which they do, it made me feel good. And I got to have some nice conversations with teachers because everyone was in a good mood. And I realized the reason I was feeling so down on work was that everyone around me was feeling down themselves. They were all busy. They were all frantic because they had so much work to do, and I didn't really have that much work to do. And so I was just being jolted by all of their emotions. But once they were all in a good mood, then it allowed me to be in a good mood. And everyone was in a good mood because there was going to be no more work, no more school. I don't know what I'm talking about. Anyways, it was that there's no more classes at my school, but I did have winter camp, which I just finished today. Now, winter camp is something that most public school foreign English teachers will have to take part in. You might not have to. There was one, my first school, I did not have to. They didn't have one. They did have a summer camp, but no winter camp. My second school, I had to do a 5-day winter camp. This school, actually, all of the junior high schools in Chiayi City combined to do one winter camp. So I was working with a lot of other foreign English teachers, as well as local teachers, and we only had 40 kids, even a little less than that. And we divvied up the responsibility, so it was only a 1.5-day camp. So I had very little teaching time. So it was actually the chillest experience that I've ever had for a holiday camp. Not only in its brevity, but in my responsibility. It was so nice. And now, January 23rd, sun is not just setting yet. I don't have to see another English class until February 9th, so life's good. And then I shouldn't be complaining about that at all. In fact, I'll probably miss it quite a lot in a week or two, but for now, I'm celebrating. And how am I going to celebrate? Tomorrow, I am going on a 3-night adventure with the lovely Flo, my girlfriend. The two of us will go to Xiaoliuqiu, which is, I'm butchering that. It's Small Green Island, which is off the coast of Kaohsiung. We'll be there for at least 2 nights, maybe 3, maybe 1 night in Kaohsiung. Not exactly sure. Yeah, so that'll be fun. I'll try to talk her into letting me do a little vlog, but she's so shy. She's so shy, but I have been pressuring her to get more involved with my channel, even though I do love her for watching my videos. Okay, What else? Oh, I wanted to talk about how I have the best landlord in the world. Now, first of all, as a foreigner, it's not even easy to find a landlord that will accept you as a foreigner. But once you do, will they be a good one? Will they be a bad one? One of my, one of the foreign English teachers I was talking to today said her landlord doesn't even speak any English, so they have a difficult time communicating. Now, my landlord used to work around the world for Nike as an engineer, and so his English is rusty, but it's there. He likes using it. His wife really likes using it. And they've been great, but I had a bit of an issue with the water heater because I'm the first tenant to ever live in this apartment room. And so a lot of the things were untested, and one of the things that I found out was as the temperature cooled down, as we got into winter, I had less and less hot water because it was sucking in water from outside, and as the water from outside got cooler, it took longer to heat up. So my showers were getting so short. And so when I told him about that, he quickly responded and suggested that we double the capacity, so we get a new water heater. And he said, how about we go half on it? You pay half, I'll pay half. But if you stay a second year, I'll reimburse you for the half that you paid. And I was so desperate for hot water and so happy that he so quickly responded that I immediately said, that's very reasonable, let's go. Well, later on, I felt a little bad about it because I thought, hey man, I shouldn't have to pay for half because I can't even take, how can you rent a place out? You know, and I pay 16,000 NT, which is nothing in American terms, but it's quite a lot for a single person in Taiwan. How can you expect me to pay this amount if you can't even guarantee me a 5-minute shower? But I had already agreed. So even though my feelings of how reasonable this proposition was changed, I gotta pay it. You know, I gotta pay it because I told him, I agreed. You know, my word is my bond, and I have to do it. So I did it, but then I was still kind of riled up about it. And so there were some other problems that I had not told him about because he was such a great landlord that has always been so good to me and so quick to solve my problems. There were a couple other lingering issues. One was the internet. He quickly got me a new router and a new wire, so I should have better speed and connectivity. And another was, now this was a crazy thing. Because I live at the very top apartment, at the top of the building, I didn't know this, but at the top of almost every building, there's a pipe that is connected to the sewage. And it releases the foul odors that are down below. So everyone's shit, you know, excuse me being crass, but everyone's shit, that smell goes up this tube at the top of the building. Well, I'm at the top, and that tube was right next to my balcony, and so one section of my balcony I rarely ever went to. I've got a huge balcony because every time I would walk over there, not every time, sometimes I would just get hit by this waft of shit, you know. So I had it wasn't a big issue, but then it was really cold, and I turned on my air conditioner, and the air conditioning vent outside was near this area, and it was sucking in the shit smell, and it was coming into my apartment, and I was pissed that I had agreed to pay the money, and I paid the money, and I just said, hey man, we gotta fix this pipe thing. And he quickly fixed it, no charge. He's got a repairman that this guy walks in, he feels like he's the boss. And he's got like just 2 teeth. He's a big, tall guy, only speaks in Taiwanese, never heard him speak Mandarin. It looks like there's blood coming out of his mouth because he's He's addicted to betel nut, and he just put some pipes on, and now the pipe goes well above my apartment. So I haven't had that issue yet come up again. So landlord, my feelings for my landlord, up and down, and up, and the feelings for my school, up and down, but overall up. I really can't complain about life. I'm going to an island holiday with a beautiful young woman tomorrow. Now this beautiful young woman, I haven't talked much about it, and I don't want to, because this is more her business. And like I said, she's shy, but she has a young child who occasionally hangs out with me at my apartment, and he loves to watch this YouTube show called Blippi. It's this crazy guy, Blippi. He's kind of like a Pee Wee Herman guy, and he sings songs, and he acts real silly, and kind of funnily enough, my girlfriend says she could see me doing a Blippi show. I don't know if I take that as a compliment. But anyways, this guy Blippi sings this song, I'm an excavator, dirt, see you later. And he's like making this excavator movement with his hand, and this song has been stuck in my head. And when the huge earthquake happened several nights ago, when I woke up and I couldn't go back to bed, that song was just in my head as the earth was rumbling. I'm an excavator. God damn, man. It is, I will say this. Now, most people probably wouldn't want to date a single mom. They probably would prefer dating a woman without a child because of the complications, But for me, there are difficult times, obviously. She's busy because of being a mom. But I don't know how long you've been following my channel, but I have 2 daughters, and my daughters were taken by my wife, and I can't see them right now. And this little young 2-year-old boy, I treasure spending time with this kid. I really actually think about him and miss him, so kind of cool. Anyways, we are not taking the kid for our 3-day island holiday. All right, so yeah, end of the semester, Chinese New Year holiday. Things are good. I'm going to see a doctor tomorrow, another doctor, about my right shoulder. I have taken, even though I've been teaching jiu-jitsu at school, I have not been training it for quite some time because I've talked about it, I just would re-injure it and it would get worse. And I feel like even though right now I'm not in chronic pain, there are some movements that would inevitably happen if I went back to training. I just feel it would get badly re-injured again. So I really want to get it thoroughly checked out by this doctor and see what happens. But because I haven't been training jiu-jitsu in a while, even though I've been able to teach it and I still watch it on YouTube, that has been a big thing missing in my life. Life is full of surprises. The earth shakes, your shoulder goes out, but you get long holidays with the beautiful young woman. It's not a bad life, and I'm happy to be able to share my life with you. I'm hoping to share more. I'm hoping to be more regular with this. I have promised to do videos in the past to people who put their requests down in the comments, and I didn't always come through. Sometimes it was just my interest wasn't large enough, and sometimes it was I forgot, and a lot of times I just go with the inspiration of the moment. But I will try to get to at least the last one that I promised, which was class discipline. So if that's you, that you requested it, I will get around to it. I do have a long holiday, and after my adventure with my girlfriend, I might be going on a solo adventure, which should afford me a lot of time to do videos. Anyways, if you've watched this whole video to this point, put it down in the comments. I watched the whole damn thing. Thank you very much. You're a super subscriber. And I wish you guys all a wonderful Chinese New Year and a great end of the week. My name is Ryan. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.